Hey guys, School here. I'm in Russia. No, seriously, I'm in Russia. I'm also in a Maz with the Diet Coke lights on it. Can you see this? I must admit I put the Diet Coke lights on myself. Actually, I better refuel because the guy behind me is getting a little bit annoyed. So let's go on with that. Just fill her up. Yeah, I'm in Russia. I mean, well, I'm just outside of a town called Volokholamsk. I think that's how you say it. So this mod I've got is a map mod for Russia. Obviously just a very small part of Russia. But when I say that, Russia is absolutely so massive that the road to Moscow from Eastern Europe is just unbelievable. It's about 1,000 kilometers. It takes ages to drive. Actually, I think it's more. Let me just quickly show you where I am. Bring up the map. And here's Moscow. Okay. That's where I am, in Volokholamsk. I don't know how you say that. I've been to Moscow, that's where I drove. I drove straight there. Look at this road here. This road is massive. It's absolutely massive. And it goes all the way down to Brest and Warsaw. So essentially, if I zoom out, what this mod does is it extends the map this way over here. And coolly, or rather awesomely I should say, it works with Pro Mod. So here's Pro Mod. So we've got standard SCS Euro Truck. We've got the Going East pack, we've got Pro Mod on top, and then we've got Russia. I think this thing is even compatible with TSM. TSM, of course, brings you down this kind of area with Spain and Italy and Northern Africa. I think it's compatible with TSM, but don't quote me on that. But I can tell you it's definitely compatible with Pro Mod. One little tip, though, is when you put this mod in, and the link is in the video description, you need to put a ZZ on the front of the name. Just make sure it loads after Pro Mod, otherwise you get weird problems. It doesn't break, it's just that when you zoom out of the map, you can't scroll all the way over, as I found in my stream when I streamed it. Anyway, let me show you, because as I've said before about map mods, each author brings his own little style to a map, and I was driving around this one a little bit just to see what kind of style it had. So you'll see the fuel stations are in towns, which is cool. You'll also see little things like this outside of every town. How cool is that? The one outside of Moscow has in Russian the words Moscow. Look at this gun emplacement here, like an artillery gun. Lovely little touches like that. How cool is that? So you'll see various things as we drive around. I'm on my way to pick up a job. I'll show you where the job goes in a second. It's going to take us to a couple of towns, cities, I'm not really sure, in Russia that I've not discovered. And what I'm not doing with this video is I'm not doing a, in quotes, mod review. It's kind of hard to do a mod review of a map anyway. So what I thought was, why not just drive around the map? Why not just take a journey? Go around the map, show you a bit of it, let you make up your own mind. And also because I've had a lot of calls from people to say, Squirrel, I love the Euro Truck videos, but you know, all the mod reviews and stuff, can we not just get back in the truck and just drive and do a nice journey where you talk to us and all that kind of good stuff? And that's why I subscribed to you in the first place, and I totally get that. So what I'm going to do is, in this video, I'm going to give you what you asked for. I'm going to drive. I'm going to talk. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, but that's kind of the part of the fun. I can tell you, though, that I think I've got a trailer full of prams to take. And I think the trailer's red, so it should kind of go with this truck. I'll also leave you a link to this truck. I like this truck. I used it in a stream a couple of weeks ago. And I kind of grew to love it. The inside could be a little bit more detailed, but it has character. There is a slight bug in the mirror. You see the mirror on the left here? It's always red. No matter what colour you choose for the outside, and I've chosen a crimson red. Doesn't matter what colour you choose, that's always bright red. So there is that little bug, but we'll forgive them that. So anyway, here's the journey. We're coming out of Volokholamsk. Ugh, my Russian's terrible. And we're driving along past Urgev. And then past, which I've actually discovered Argev, past Veliki Luki. I'm sure anybody from Russia is just laughing their socks off right now. Then Nevel, and then finally into Velig or Velik. Who knows how you say that. As you can see, 15 ton of prams, and this should, I've already got that one, but I want to swing by these two. So we'll nip in, if I remember. There's every chance I won't remember. If I remember, we'll nip into these towns on the way, make a discovery, and take a quick peek at them and see what they look like. But let's grab this job. Let's get these prams. I think the babies and the mums are waiting for the prams, so let's not keep them waiting. Whoopsie. Did you hear that noise? Let me do that. Oh, I could do that again. Hang on. Listen very carefully to that. Okay. That little clink. That's a mod as well. Just installed it. I'll leave a link to that one as well if you like. So I'll leave you 3 links in the video. This Maz truck, the Rusian Map Mod, and that. It's only a little soundbite, effectively. I think he took it out of a different game. One of the other trucking games. I don't need any amber lights on. This is a normal load for me. Usually I'm pulling oversized, massive loads. The thing is about this truck is it's only, in quotes, about 400 brake horsepower, if I remember. It's not a monster. And I think on the stream I pulled quite a heavy load. It's about 35 tons. But it behaves. This is what I like about it. Because it is relatively underpowered in Euro truck terms, although by no means underpowered in real world trucking terms, you can't just go blasting around with this thing. As you can see, I've got my foot flat on the floor, and it pulls more like a real truck. All the cars are pulling away from me, I'm struggling with my weight, 15 tons of prams, you know, you can't just throw it around. And that's part of the charm, I think. You could get a mod and you could update the engine to 700 brake, but as I keep saying to people in the stream, why would you want to do that? It's kind of fun for a bit, but with a simulator, I like a challenge, you know? I would love a bit more realism in this game, a bit more difficulty. I guess they'll work on that. I guess they'll bring in some options, hopefully with American Truck Simulator, which it's all gone very quiet over at SCS in regards to American Truck Simulator, which makes me think that they're busy working on it. And I hope, I have absolutely no information, by the way, this is all my opinion and guesswork, but I hope it'll come out this year, maybe this summer, maybe in time for summer, who knows. At least an early access version anyway, which they have talked about. Don't you dare pull out on me. Don't you dare, Mr. Coach Driver, thank you. I had a massive fear then that one of those two was going to pull out on me. But I'm hopeful about American Truck Simulator, because if you look at their blog post and you see the pictures, the progress is incredible. Oh, I look at them and I just think, give me that game right now, seriously. American trucks set in America. We've seen pictures of California and it looks beautiful. I mean, we know this graphics engine it's really nice, and it is such a good engine in that you can run it on a relatively low spec computer. I mean, I've got a fairly high-end computer by PC standards, but so I can max out all the settings, but even people, you know, are not that fortunate can just slide down the settings and get a lovely view out of the cockpit window and just, you know what I mean, the little sunlight blooming through the trees. It's beautiful. But that American Truck Simulator, they just seem to have kicked it up a gear, and I'm really looking forward to driving around America. I hope they've made the roads a lot wider. Now, speaking of road width, have you noticed the scenery so far? Can you see that over there? We're driving past factories, we're driving past farms which look like they came out of DayZ. Absolutely fantastic. Over there we've got a nice open field, farmland, electricity pylons, and this here, a dual carriageway with a grass verge in between, very long straight road. What I can tell you is this: if you ever fancy doing a monster drive, and I may do this myself, actually, I may do this myself, if you want to take a monster drive in this game, all you need to do is get this mod, go to Moscow, right, and then pick up a long distance job out of Moscow that's going to take you somewhere all the way across Europe. Now, I don't know if you could get the longest journey if you ran it with Pro Mod or if you ran it with TSM, but I reckon you could get at least... I would think you could get yourself a 3,000 kilometer journey. I reckon you could get something of that magnitude. Maybe if you went up all the way to the top of Scotland, or if you went all the way over to West Africa in TSM, or even if you went to, let's think, top of Norway, possibly Helsinki, yeah, with Pro Mod. What about that? Moscow to Helsinki, because it would take you via Denmark. And you could get a monster drive. So if you've ever wanted to do a proper long distance run, turn your sleep settings on so that it makes you go to sleep and do that. That will take you a few days in game terms to do that. And I may just do that myself, I don't know. I may have a play around and see what kind of length of journey I can come up with, see what kind of delivery I can get. I may even make a video, but it would be a multi-part video. Would you like to see that? Would that be of interest? Now, we do have fuel stations here, as we normally do on the roads. But like I said, one of the things I do like, and I don't really understand why SCS don't do this. I can't quite understand it. But they've put fuel stations in a lot of the towns, and it's such a nice addition. It just kind of feels real. You drive into this town, you get this wonderful plaque in front of you, telling the town name, and it's like a monument. You drive in a bit further, you'll see a garage, you'll see a fuel station, and then you get into the town. That's what a town is. When most signs I've ever been to, they have fuel stations in them. They don't make you get on the motorway to go and refuel. And I don't really get why SCS didn't do that, because it just feels that little bit more real. But anyway, look at this road now. I mean, the draw distance is showing you what this game is. The map is just this massive straight road, which we're out on. This is one of them, which runs on the kind of northern line here. This one, I can tell you, I drove all the way up here in the stream, and it's a big old journey, let me tell you that. So, I want to go past Argev. I've already been there, so I'm going to skip that. I'm going to keep on going. And when I get to here, before I make a left turn, I'm going to turn right. Try and buy that. Then I'm going to go south to Nivelle, buy that. I'm going to hang a left to Velig and buy that. That is the plan, but this is, being Russia of course, quite a long journey. Whoopsie. Let's get back on the road while I look at the distance. So we've got 600 kilometers. So that tells you the top side. Whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, I'll stay in this lane. I was too busy looking at the distance down there, 600 k's. And the top side of it is therefore 600 kilometers in length terms. Well, actually, it's probably about 500 once you take that dog leg out. So that's 500 there. And then down the south, like I say, I think it was about 1,000 down to Warsaw. It takes you a while to drive it. There's no doubt about that. I may have to cut this video. If it gets a little bit too long, we shall see. The other thing is, there are speed cameras en route. I've been done a few times for speeding when I was just exploring around. I just literally got in the truck. Let's get in this lane. I don't like the way lanes do that. I really don't like that. In the UK you've got 2 lanes and then you'll get a 3rd lane which will fall away. In this, if you're in that lane, you'll suddenly find yourself leaving when you don't want to. I don't like that. I've forgotten what I was saying now. Completely forgotten what I was saying. Never mind. What was I saying? I'll probably watch the video back and say, oh, that's what I was talking about. So, anyway, here's a subject that I've been messaged about quite a bit, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about it, but not much, because I just want to basically let you know where I am with this subject, okay? Because, and I'll tell you why, because there's been, believe it or not, there's been some people who have been commenting on my opinion, despite the fact I've not actually expressed it yet. But the subject is the multiplayer, in quotes, mod for Euro Truck Simulator 2. Some people are saying, crashed vehicle? What? Wow, I thought he was miles away. Some people are saying that I'm not going to try it. Some people are saying that I'm actively rejecting it. None of these things are true. In fact, oh, look at that sun. Look at that. Bales of hay, sunshine, trucker's life. In fact, I'm actually in touch with the community manager for the multiplayer mod. and you know, I've talked to him, I've asked him a load of questions. I said, look, you know, I'm going to make a video on this. I want to cover it, I want to do it justice, I want to, you know, educate people, answer people's questions. So, answer all these questions for me. And he did, he was really nice. He replied back, gave me a lot of info, and I also said to him, look, you know, people are asking me to stream this game, but the reality is that when you're a YouTuber and a streamer of a certain size, you go and take yourself into any multiplayer game and you'll get followed into it. You're streaming it, you'll get followed into it. It used to happen in DayZ, it used to happen in Battlefield. I see no reason why it wouldn't happen in Eurotruck multiplayer, okay? And I said to him, have you got any advice for... Let me just put my lights on. Have you got any advice for me if I wanted to stream the multiplayer mod of Eurotruck? And he wrote back and said, well, we have admins who are watching things all the time. Let me know when you're going to do it, and I'll basically make sure that we've got an admin following you around. And if anybody starts to give you grief, now bear in mind that there will be a number of people who will just want to follow me and, you know, create a convoy, and that would be great. That'll be awesome, in fact. You know, convoy multiplayer, fantastic. But you will get those people, you know, they exist on the internet, and they certainly exist in your comments on your videos, and they exist in streams. The ones who will follow you around and park their truck across the road and block your path, or, you know, find it rather amusing to wait for you at a crossing and then slam their truck into yours and all the rest of it. Those people exist, and I would expect them to try and find me if I streamed multiplayer. This community manager guy just said to me, look, when you're going to get ready to stream, let me know, okay, and I will make sure I've got somebody following you around. Anybody does that kind of thing, we'll just remove them from the server. It's not a problem. So I've got that, you know, they're willing to help me out. They understand the problem, and that's wonderful. So that kind of opens the door, at least for me to, at some point in the future, stream Eurotruck multiplayer. And you know, if I did, because Sunday Night Trucking is a big night, if I did, I can imagine, just given the number of people who like to watch me do that, watch me stream, and imagine there'll be a lot of you would pile into the multiplayer server and want to drive with me. Haven't got a problem with that at all. But it's not something I've got a date for yet, but it is something I'm thinking about doing. Before that, I'm going to make a video for you guys and cover the multiplayer mod, okay? Now, it's not strictly speaking a mod in the sense of an official, you know, a mod from SCS is, if you like, an API that SCS have provided so that you can create mods, create files that you drop into the mod folder, and it extends or changes the functionality of the game in a way that SCS is expecting to happen. Okay, that's a mod. Not quite the case with the multiplayer. The multiplayer doesn't drop into the mod folder, it behaves in quite a different way, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm just going to say I'll cover that. Yeah, I'll cover that in the video. I'll explain the ins and outs of the multiplayer. And one thing I will say, and I need to put this one to bed right now, is if you ever see somebody in the multiplayer of Eurotruck Simulator called Squirrel, or the Squirrel's Nuts, or Squirrel Logistics, anything like this, it's not me. It's absolutely not me. I learned back in the Battlefield and DayZ days that you never ever use your name when you're playing multiplayer like that, because people will go, oh my god, I recognise him, and yep, they'll just gun straight for you or come and drive around and follow you or whatever it is they do. In Battlefield it used to be a case of people running up and knifing you in the back or just targeting you endlessly with RPGs. DayZ, they'd try and stream snipe you and kill you. In multiplayer, who knows? Who knows what they're doing in Eurotruck. Anyway, the point is, I will never use my squirrel name or the Squirrel's Nuts, any of those variants. So if you see one of those in multiplayer, no matter what they're doing, whether they're being nice or being nasty, it isn't me, okay? Bear that one in mind. So I don't receive any more messages saying, oh, past you, going down past Warsaw. Yeah, want me, dude. I will be very, very discreet and covert and try to blend in and just be one of the other truckers on the road so that, you know, you don't know it's me while I'm playing and recording. And that way I can enjoy the drive. Anyway, that's for the future, okay? It's getting very close now where I'm going to cover that, but that's for the future. I'm not going to talk any more about the multiplayer. I just wanted to talk about those specific things. Now, I'm thinking to myself, 400 kilometers left. ETA is 3 AM. When is the expected date for this job? Saturday between 11 and 6 PM. Okay, it's only a 6-hour drive, which means I could take a rest. I've got that. This doesn't want to turn. There we go. I've got that in the bag, haven't I? Time remaining 21 hours for a 6-hour drive. 6 plus 8 for a rest gives me 14 hours. Plenty of leeway. So what I'm going to do, look at that. Look at that sunset over there right ahead. Because we're driving into the west, of course. We get to drive into that fantastic sunset. Looks like something out of FSX, actually. It's on the same kind of level. Although in FSX you could be up in the clouds doing it. Chasing the sun over the horizon. Not that you'll ever catch it, but you can have a go. Look, you see that? There's a guy broke down in a truck. Now, obviously that's just a model, but it's nice. It's nice, isn't it? And I saw other incidents. I saw some police had stopped a car and a truck, I think it was for speeding. I've seen accidents, I've seen just breakdowns like that. Blown tyres, whatever. Absolutely wonderful. Love it. Make the world feel lived in. That's what I've always said to these guys who are making these games and making these maps. Make it feel real. Have these events going on. Have these occurrences that we can see. Look at this farmland again to the right. So I think I'm going to pull in the next lay-by. Because it is 9 PM, it's going to be going dark soon. I don't mind driving in the dark, it's just that I try not to make videos or streams of me driving in the dark, which is why I turn off the rest settings, you know, the forced rest situation. The only reason I do that is so that I can drive in the day and sleep at night and control my own time. Otherwise, if you put that rest stuff on, it makes you take a rest. Once you reach that period, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, it's going to make you rest. Ah, here we go. Speaking of a rest stop. Oh, it's by a lake. Look at that. I've got to take a look at this. Look at that, guys. How fantastic is that? Oh, my life. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Now, look at this here. Have you ever seen this in Eurotruck before? You pull in, you've got it like a motel there, with some guys talking and arguing, whatever they're doing, maybe dealing drugs, who knows. A shop with a hotel, some trucks, truckers. This is brilliant. This is utterly brilliant. I love what this guy's done here. These guys having a little chat over here. Now the only issue I'm thinking about this one is, where do I take a rest? Do I have to go in the hotel? I think I might, you know. Which could be difficult, unless I can rest down there. What do you think? I don't think I can. I'm guessing the rest stop is the hotel, in which case we're going to have some fun and games. Unless it's there. I can't see a square. Hang on, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Ditch the trailer 1 second, just to make this a bit easier. I'm going to see if there's a parking bay just over here. Wait, is it? Yes, look, stop the engine. So that's a parking bay. Cool. I was thinking I'd have to drive into the hotel, but I don't. Oh man, I love this. Why is all this smoke on the floor? That coming out my Maz. Did I put petrol in by accident? But do you see what I mean about each mod author? This is one of the most authentic stops I think I've seen in any of the maps I've seen in Eurotruck. Hotel, shop, truckers, you know, it's just great. It's just great. Let's pull in over here. And I did it while I was in the sunset. It's going really dark now. Pull up over there behind these guys who are still chatting. I'm sure they won't mind. Let's go right forward here. Hello, sirs. Not very chatty. Okay, let's get some rest. So of all the things I could have parked next to, It was dark. I couldn't see. Don't blame me, guys. Don't judge me. Yeah, you guessed it. Look at this. I parked right next to a Renault. A red one as well. It doesn't even have any door mirrors. That guy doesn't even need to see what's behind him. They're still arguing. I reckon they're arguing about Renault trucks. But that shop over there never opened. I was hoping to get a coffee, but it wasn't to be. Just leave the side lights on. Alright, let's have a look where we are. We are... What are we, about halfway, you say? All the way along here. Remember, when we get to here, I'm going to turn right. I'm going to start visiting towns, and we'll take a quick look at them. It's a beautiful morning. I mean, you can't get better than a morning by the lake. Look at that. Can't say I slept very well. The road noise was a bit bad. But that view is spectacular. Okay. Let's get the display back on. Not the best place to pull out of. We don't even get a run-up strip at this. Come on. Let me out. This is an awkward turnout point, it really is. Are you going to let me out? Is anybody going to let me out? He's letting me out. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's just trolling me. Scumbag van driver. Okay, well, since the AI's been like that, we're just going to have to claim a lane. Well, look at all the bins. There's loads of people standing around with their arms in the air, arguing, shouting at each other. Maybe they're like city traders or something. Can't even see what... If you can speak Russian, you can probably translate that a lot better than I can. I have no idea what that sign said. Just got overtaken by a Dasher van. Dasher. Oh yeah, that's nice. And the birds as well. Okay, 300 kilometers left.